Click the buttons. Click the buttons. Make the live go faster. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Aliens, the tabletop RPG. We are doing session 0 for season 2 of our delightful game. Welcome and thank you. We really love to see you in chat, and we're going to be using some of your roles tonight to help generate the first. Well, they call them scenario, however you. Whatever part of the world you happen to be from, but either way, it's the first mission that our intrepid crew will be going on their new ship, which we're going to talk about that too. Tonight is a lot of info going to be passed around, a lot of crazy info. But before we jump into all of that, I want to take just a brief moment here and have Juniper let everybody know about another show that she is part of on Saturdays. So
put me on the spot, why don't you?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm in another show on the D and Denial Twitch channel on Saturdays at 9 p.m. EST called the Moonstone Matriarchy, and it's an all-female cast, all-female crew D&D 5e stream. At the moment, our characters are sticking their foot in it and pissing off pretty much every NPC we can find, and some of us are desperately trying to get the NPCs back on side. So yeah, it's a bit of a chaos party. Lots of fun.
It definitely is. I've seen a bit of the episodes, and it's fun. It's a really good watch. I recommend everybody get over there and check that out for sure. So as you all may be noticing, there's a couple new names on the stream here. A couple people have changed out characters. Now, one of them was kind of forced to change character thanks to a lovely roll by our audience. That's right. As a direct result of the role of the audience, we had a player death in our last episode. So that's the kind of stuff you can look forward to.
Dark Caustics there.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, we're looking at you, Dark Caustic. So thank you so much for tuning in to check this out. Let's get rolling. So the first thing I'd like to do is just kind of go around, and we're going to let everybody introduce their character, be it new or old, and just kind of it's been 2 years since you all have transitioned from the last ship. So if you could just kind of let me know a little bit about what your character has been doing in the past 2 years. So we're going to go alphabetically, and I think we'll start with Ash, who, if anybody can remember, was our exquisite pilot from the last ship, who actually saved the crew from quite a few astrological terrors. So Ash, Anthony, welcome.
I'm Anthony, playing Ash, and indeed I did some piloting and then disappeared, and did some piloting and disappeared. So Ash is taking last season hard. The last 2 years have been some trauma exploring as they take a look for ever riskier and ever more profitable means of atoning.
Okay, is there any specific example as to something you may have done in this last 2 years?
May or may not have, stolen a couple of small ships, motorcycles, did some arms training. A lot better at a distance.
That was quite the problem on the last ship. We only had, which was rightly so. I mean, how many people do you really need to know how to fire weapons in space? But yeah, there was a severe lack of that.
More than you'd think.
Well, I mean, this particular space is full of monsters that want to eat you, so...
Shoot first, ask second.
Yeah. But yeah, it's great to have you back, Anthony. Hopefully, with us being on our first Sunday of the month schedule, that won't interfere, and we can have Ash around the whole time because he is a riot and a lot of fun to have around and a very damn good pilot.
Thank you. Glad to be back.
Next, we have a new character. Somebody new joins the fray. We
Is that me?
have Brooks, played by Matthew.
Yeah, so my name is Matthew. I'm playing a new character. So from people that were here last season with Liam, after Kara's passing, they just could not bear to be traveling space anymore. So they went for just planet-side retirement, I guess you can call it. But if you're thinking of your funny, naive, gullible himbo, Brooks is the total opposite of what Liam was. They're an officer, for those who know a bit about the alien system. And Brooks is 5'10". They're androgynous. They go by any pronouns. They're very cold, very icy, very calculating. Just an all-around composed individual, and a bit bossy when it comes down to it. So yeah, that's kind of, if there is a leader for the ship, they believe they're it. So that's where Brooks kind of stands.
Awesome. And so Brooks wasn't part of the last ship, but what was Brooks like doing before this ship?
Okay. Yeah, so they were a part of the military for a while. They don't really jive with being told what to do. So they essentially finished out their contract with the military in somewhat non-mutual ways. Now they kind of work kind of freelance. They're a little all over the place. They really don't have a solid allegiance. They're a part of a lot of things, but not really representing a lot of things. So that's kind of where they sit now. If they got a lot of irons in the fire, so to speak. A lot of different freelance work, gig working in space, if you could think about it that way.
Okay, I can buy that. Buy that for $1. Well, that's awesome, and it sounds like a cool character, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that meshes with the rest of the group. Because from the people from last time and what I know about what's coming, it'll be interesting to say the least. Foreshadow. Well, Matthew, thank you very much for joining us again. I'm glad that you're back for season 2. This will be a ripping good time, I'm sure. Next up in our alphabetical list of characters, we have Deacon, the Lance Corporal.
All right, my name is Tim. I'm playing Season 1 Survivor, Lance Corporal Deacon, which is one of his issues. He has survivor's guilt from what happened to Kara during the last season, and has since spent the last 2 years sort of palling around with Sarah and Ash on their new ship, basically playing bodyguard, if nothing else, protecting what family he does have left.
Awesome. All right. Is there anything specific that Ash was doing in the last 2 years that maybe you want the peoples out there in the world to know about? Because I know we had talked briefly about a possibility of not necessarily being a colonial marine any longer.
Yeah. Deacon no longer is a member of the Colonial Marines, but still goes by Lance Corporal because, once a Lance Corporal, always a Lance Corporal.
No, that wasn't a rank. That was my real name. That's what my parents named me. All right. Well, again, thank you so much, Tim, for joining us for season 2. It's great to have somebody who can uh, really, really shoot and has a little bit of tactical background against these 28-foot xenomorphs that the chat likes to throw at people. That'll always be helpful in space. Next on our amazing roster, we have the youngest of the crew, not in real life per se, but possibly, and also in the game itself. We've got Phoebe, played by Sarah.
Yes, I'm Sarah. I'm playing Phoebe Lugo. I was, I guess, halfway through the last season. I originally started out at 12, going on 13, and I played the kid character. But with at the time, I was looking for my dad, James Lugo. Found him. Awesome. He's still actually with me. He's still doing his roughneck duties, but maybe at a little slower pace because he got pretty jacked up by an alien. But with the death of Kara, it was definitely very traumatic for Phoebe. But within the 2 years, she kind of took that trauma and tried to go more in a positive route. And in honor of Kara, she went the medic route. So I'm sort of playing between kid and medic at the moment. But what she has, because Kara took really amazing medical notes and things of that nature. So for the past 2 years, kind of just been studying them, using them to help people, and getting as much knowledge and experience as possible.
That's awesome. That is really, really cool. Nice homage to a character in the last crew. Very, very cool. Very cool. Now, are your dad and you, since that was kind of like a huge part of your character from season 1, are the two of you still traveling together, or how has that played out?
Oh yeah, my dad can't get rid of me. So no, basically he's we've been traveling together, more or less like we're each other's only family. So it's more, I'm not gonna go sit in like our home world. We're gonna go and travel together, make money together, do that whole thing. So he's on the ship with me, and we kind of, I guess, been bouncing different jobs and things of that nature.
Awesome. That works for me. I like it. I like to think too that as Phoebe was poring over the post-it notes and data pads and stuff, she just kept occasionally coming across this person named Jeff that for some reason Kara really disliked. So now Phoebe has a dislike for him for no reason.
Oh yeah. No, of course.
It's like, I don't know who this guy is.
Every now and again in the
but I don't
margins
like
of a
him.
note is like the name Jeff with a dagger and some blood just, scrawled in the margins.
Yeah, just like little doodles.
Yeah.
There's like one post-it note that it's written really heavy where it's just, fuck Jeff.
You can see the imprint of the next 5 pages of that.
Yeah. There's like no context for it either. Just and that brings us to Kara's former player. She has a new character now, and one that I'm kind of excited to have in the group for my own kind of twisted specific reason, and I will
You gonna
explain
kill her
that
again?
after we're done. But we have Susanna, played by Juniper.
So Susanna is also the kind of person that takes extensive notes on things. She is a scientist, or I guess you could say more accurately was a scientist until relatively recently. She used to work for a large corporation. So I don't know if we decided whether that was Weyland-Yutani or someone else. Ray, what do you think?
I don't think we ever actually decided, which we can still do that before episode 1,
Okay.
like our true session 1. That's not a big deal, but I mean, you can be from any of them that you would like.
I'll have a look and I'll let you know. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah, so she used to be a scientist for a large corporation, but essentially got disillusioned by how much bureaucracy was involved and how much her hands were tied in terms of the non-scientist being in charge of the funding, dictating what she was allowed to research. So she had enough of that and pretty much went rogue. And she's worked with a freelance crew for a few months now, not necessarily as a scientist per se, but she has highly transferable observation and problem solving skills that have been very useful to her since then.
Nice. That description is almost kind of terrifying when you think about it. Like, oh, I was a scientist, but I didn't want to follow the rules.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. We'll see where that takes us.
I like it. I think that's gonna lead to definitely some crazy stuff. So what I was talking about is that under the stress and panic, so scientists get to use the analysis talent. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And if you fail to use the analysis talent, that causes stress levels to increase.
I have dumped all my points into Wit's observation to try and prevent that from happening, but I'm not going to be able to prevent all of it.
Right. And that is what I'm hoping for. And, you know, chat is completely unpredictable. So we're going to see how that plays out, I'm sure. So, yeah, thank you, Juniper, for joining us again. Great to have you in season 2. And so that brings us to our last collective player. Kind of an NPC, kind of a player, always there, always lurking, and that is chat themselves. So thank you very much, chat, for returning for season 2. We're definitely glad to have you back. And with that being said, I'm going to have you all make a roll. I need 2 different D6s. That is obtained by typing !D6. And we're going to see what the crew's first mission is going to be. All right, so Darth Caustic is leading the roll with a 5. And whatever the second roll is, there is unfortunately a bit of a time delay on it, so it might take it a minute before the next roll can come in, but rest assured it will come in. Just you'll have to type it again until it pops up. Oh, Jay Ballin gave us a 2, so that leaves us with 52. Let me open the mission chart real quick. 52. All right, our scenario hook for session 1 will be: a mystery ship arrives at the spaceport. Ooh, ominous. Perhaps it is a ship that is covered with graffiti and some neon coloration. I think it's under overlay. Let me see if I can put the picture of what the crew who have collectively come together to name, was it USCS On Tilt is the name of the crew's new ship. And I'm going to see if I can... That is what the new ship looks like. It is on its last legs, held together with bubble gum and hope, covered with graffiti, and ready to traverse the stars with any luck. So thank you, chat, for thank you, chat, for the first mission. that gives me something to build the entire first session off of. It is definitely appreciated. All right, so let's kind of discuss about the last finale episode. How does everybody feel about that? Do we feel like it ended on a good note? How do we feel?
Hearts were broken, psyches were traumatized.
But as far as a story, really liked the story part of it. Being the traumatized part of the story at the end wasn't fun, but an actual impactful story is always fun to play.
Yeah, I agree. Wasn't it just a real head split? I felt that it very much played out like you would have seen it if it had been written as a movie or a TV show. It very much played out cinematically like that. And I felt that Kara had a very satisfying conclusion, honestly. She was trying to save someone that she deeply cared about. Yeah.
I think
I have
instead
ice
of
cream downstairs.
yeah, it's like instead of Mr. Coffee, there's like a Mr. Ice Cream. Just all the soft serve you can get.
It'll never be enough.
Only kicks out fish flavor though.
Oh,
Ooh,
Oh.
protein
if
pack
Cat had
number 48.
a say in it.
Yeah.
That's a good point, though. Does anybody in this new crew have any kind of new skills or things that they can do that maybe we didn't see in the last episode? So, like Liam demonstrated that he could somewhat cook in the last episode. Does anybody have anything like that going forward?
Oh.
I mean,
Let's see.
with the
Or like
whole
special hobbies?
oh, okay. I was gonna say with the whole medic/kid thing, definitely have a couple new things.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
in game terms, yeah, but I mean, like, that the stuff that I as a DM can turn against, use to enhance the story.
I think I have one. So Brooks has a very particular. Yeah. Wasn't my greatest
Yes, exactly.
As far as like hobbies, I think when Brooks does retire to her room, their room, his room, doesn't matter, and really has time to themselves, they like to turn looks. So they're very much about their fashion forward senses. They have a style that's kind of punk meets kind of a corporate culture. So that kind of sense, and I think they do a lot of their own tailoring and adjusting of their own outfits. Maybe they add a hoster where hosters normally wouldn't be. Like, it's all very looks and practicality that you really can't get from a shop.
I love that. Absolutely love that.
It needs more rhinestones. This one needs more spikes.
I think the inside of their room, there are a lot of those, like like the hanger or like the racks. There's a lot of racks of just clothes. I don't know if there's very many bare walls. I wouldn't
like
say it's
that.
a mess, but yeah, it's definitely, there's a lot going on.
I
like
would
that.
say Deacon picked up knitting for while he's reading his romance novels in his room, but he can only make like cozies. So there's just tea cozies all over the ship in various colors and patterns.
But he does it in secret, so nobody
Yeah.
knows where they're coming
They
from.
just appear.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
I'd like to imagine that my semi-lab setup, all of the glassware, just one at a time over the months, gradually gets covered in tea cozies.
More romance novels.
No.
Some
Stop
Rule
it,
34
Mal.
stuff going
I
on
didn't
there.
know this
Oh
was
my
that kind
lord.
of stream.
if anybody could have heard the pre-stream, I think they really would think this was that kind of stream.
That wasn't me.
It never
That was
happened. Ray's crazy.
Needle.
Oh, no.
I think Susanna hats friendship offerings. I love it. Susanna doesn't get the opportunity to indulge in this hobby much anymore. I think she grew up. Her large family did a lot of dancing together, like Latin dancing, social dancing kind of situation, and she really hasn't had the opportunity recently to do that. But she does do a bit of samba by herself in her rooms when when she's got some downtime. She enjoys getting
just,
lost
like,
in the music.
imagining Susanna not knowing anybody's watching, just like salsa dancing down the hallways or something. Like,
Or pouring beaker stuff into one another while practicing the dance in the lab.
1, 2, cha cha cha. 1, 2, cha cha cha.
Yeah, I don't think she'd dance solo when she knows she's being watched. But yeah, more as a private thing.
We're gonna have to have like a whole 5-minute like risky business episode.
Yes.
She thinks she's alone on the ship.
Yep.
I'd say like Phoebe probably picked up like kind of like weapons training. I know that's not necessarily just character, but she's been hitting up Deacon. I'm like, hey man, within the 2 years, I need to learn how to fight, and I'll at least hold my own a little bit. And he's kind of been,
Pew pew
basically
man.
like an instructor or a teacher in that sense to Phoebe. And then
Yep.
what was? Oh heck yeah!
Just remember, nobody put Susanna in a corner.
Really, really, nobody does. You do not put Susanna in a corner. Like she's.
And, we really didn't get to know a whole lot about Ash in the last season. He spent a lot of time having to steer the ship out of danger. Does Ash have any kind of hobbies or anything like that in the backgrounds?
Ash has picked up a couple of hobbies since the last time. On a ship, there's usually just kind of a big binder. It's got all kinds of charts in it, and different planets have different notes on it, color coding. Like Ash is plotting out a thing. There's a second binder that has all of the weird shit stories that you hear in the space travels of, hey, this planet's got a blah, blah, blah.
Oh wow.
And there's some correlation between those things.
I like that.
Yeah, that's
Working
more
on that
useful.
personal memoir.
Yeah.
Do you think does it
Personal
go as
memoir,
far as
battle plan, what's the difference?
does it go as far as conspiracy theories, or is it like fully grounded in like where's Ash taken this?
Oh, it's going everything, but anytime there's large monster creatures sounding, like that's where you see lots of notes.
Does Ash believe space is flat?
No, but my damn chair better be. Last one got blood on it.
The universe is flat. I love it. I like that a lot. I like to imagine that like the book itself is one of those string boards somehow.
Yep.
Yep.
I was imagining there was like a "there be monsters here" kind of, like cataloging, less manifesto, more cataloging.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's even written with a quill. Keeping it old school. And then, of course, no ship would be complete without the sixth or the most predominant NPC to ever grace any of the ships in an Alien, Mr. Coffee, who is still holding strong, putting out that pudding thick coffee for the crew to keep you energized and going. So you have that to look forward to.
Refreshing.
So I think that kind of brings it down and around and flippity floppity flues to the debut of our new intro.
Ooh.
So I think
New is
if
better.
everybody's ready, I'll hit the play button on our new intro so everybody can have a look and see what it's all about. Hopefully the music's not too loud. I
So
might have to
ready.
fix that. But all right. Well, everybody, it's about 1 minute and 20 seconds. It's a little bit longer than usual, but there was some good stuff I put in there. So here we go. Enjoy. See you in about 1 minute and 20 seconds. Bye. There we have it. There's our new intro.
That was awesome.
Dark, ominous music. The some art that was provided to us by Rage Mouse. Super awesome. Everything about it was just chef's kiss. At least I think so.
Love it.
Very well done.
That was really cool.
Well, I think that pretty much brings everything to a close for what I wanted to accomplish on session 0. I mean, we have a few details to discuss in the backgrounds, but chat gave us a good jumping point to get into the game. So what I am going to offer to all of the players here is a little bit of info from me to kind of help figure out where this is all starting. So, with that being said, every one of you, including not necessarily Phoebe, but Phoebe's father,
James.
received a communique from a strange benefactor named Darius Toten. He has requested that all of you join him in space dock on random planet that I haven't decided on yet. That he would like to invite you all personally to crew his ship. He will not be joining you, but he's heard very good things about each and every one of you and is offering you $4,000 every month to basically do like freelance missions for him, but you are also free to take any side missions that you would like. So he's gonna provide fuel, and he's got the ship initially stocked up for you. It's it's got enough supplies on it to last you your first year. His offer, I guess is the way to word it, is that should you return to said planet before that year is up, you can restock for another year for free. But it is understandable that it's possible you might be too far away. So you might have to handle that on your own. But you know, he's willing to make adjustments to pay to make that happen whenever those transmissions go back and forth. There are cryo beds for you all. There's one for each of you, and then there is 3 spares. The ship itself is a old repurposed salvaging ship, so it does still have some of the salvaging equipment on it. And yeah, that's pretty much his offer to you all, and he wants to meet you all during session 1 to possibly negotiate, discuss, do whatever you all might think. So you have about a month to come up with any appendices that you'd like to add to the contract, or things
Insurance.
like that.
Susanna's definitely asking about insurance.
I'll definitely change that too, because for some reason I had it written down that the scientist's name was Susan, not Susanna. So I'm definitely gonna add that A there on the intro. Shouldn't take me more than a few moments, but that'll be all squared away for next episode. Darth Caustic's like, medical or life? I'm reminded of an old commercial. Why not both?
Weirdly enough, that hadn't even crossed my mind. I was thinking, is the ship insured for those side missions that we might pick up, or are we liable for it? But there you go. Medical insurance is also important. There you go.
All kinds of insurance going on. It's all insured except against large, monstrous space creatures.
Damn it.
Always a loophole.
Mm-hmm.
Accidental death and dismemberment.
Mm-hmm.
Why is this contract read like The Hobbit? But all right. Well, thank you to these amazing players that are rejoining for season 2. I'm really looking forward to having all of your characters possibly die. That's part of the game. It made it super interesting last time, but after that initial 10 minutes of oh crap, but it was super awesome, and I loved season 1. I'm sure that season 2 is going to be absolutely amazing as well. And thank you to chat for joining us today. You all have been a riot and just keeping it real. But we will see you all on the next first Sunday of the month. Let me see what day that would be. We are looking at February 4th would be the first Sunday of February. So that is when we will be back. Mark your calendars and be ready. We will go live at 8:30 CST. And yeah, it's going to be a romping good time. So thank you all very much. We'll see you all in a month. Bye.
Huzzah for season 2.